Welcome to another episode, Fantasy Football Scouts. My name's Rob. I'm with Dan and Scott.
Another day on the draft board.
Ahoy, ahoy.
So today we're talking about running backs
Must-have running backs.
that we really love. All right, so we all sat down and came up with one guy. We picked one guy that we all really like. So you're going to hear three names here today. And these three names are guys you should be looking to draft come draft day. So who wants to start?
I don't mind starting because I think I have the guy who's flying up boards the most aggressively. So it's
Go for it, Scott.
It's kind of changing every day with this guy, but as of today, my must-have. Well, it's not going to change who the must-have is. His value is changing, but my must-have is Najee Harris.
Najee Harris.
Yes.
Yeah.
This guy has been a huge winner of the preseason so far. We had a little uncertainty of how the Pittsburgh O-line was going to look. Maybe how the offense was going to be able to operate. They have quickly established themselves and gotten back into that form that we all know Pittsburgh is capable of with those bell cow running backs.
He looked really good in Week 1 preseason.
Yeah. The key to me picking Najee Harris over other backs was the fact that you will probably see in more common or casual drafts that he is still actually going around the turn of ADP boards.
Of the first round.
Yes, so there are some very lucky individuals out there that are drafting Najee Harris with the 13th or the 14th overall pick, getting them as their second player, pairing this guy with a very elite stud as well, and kind of feeling like they might have a leg up on the competition to win the championship just after the second round of their draft. It's pretty wild that you're going to get this guy compared to what some of the other people are going to reach for. As we discussed before we went live, it's sort of changing quickly where he might just pop into the first round earlier and earlier, and that's okay. If you really like this guy, you should be reaching for him anyways.
Yeah.
Be all that as it may, when you get these young rookie running backs, we have seen how much success that they can have right out of the gate. They don't suffer from the type of learning curve that other positions do. And for that reason, Najee Harris could finish as the RB1 this year for all I know. That is his ceiling. It's not to say that it's going to happen, but I don't see him finishing any lower than running back 10 or something like that if it went really poorly for him. He's very talented. He's very large. He has the frame to do it. He has the personnel. They're going to give him all the support that he can handle, and it looks like Pittsburgh is going back to their classic ways of pounding a bell cow.
If you look at rookie running backs last year, Jonathan Taylor and who's the other
Clyde
one?
Edwards-Helaire.
And James Robinson, three good examples there for rookie running backs last year.
Well, even if we just look back in the last few years, we got guys like Zeke Elliott who showed up on the scene. We got a guy like Leonard Fournette who was an absolute monster his first few years on Jacksonville. There's quite a few of these guys that they don't waste any time acclimating themselves to the NFL, even as rookies. So it's not a very risky proposition to go and get one of these guys over one of the other known studs.
Depending if your league is a 10-man or a 12-man or a 14-man, it depends. Where are you taking Najee Harris? Do you wait for your second pick or do you use your first round pick on him? And like you said, reach for him, right?
Yeah,
because he has been moving up draft boards.
Yeah, it's not a matter
of
waiting. It's just there will be people that if things don't change, he might end up slipping to 13. Right now, he's not going to go any lower than that. People are not passing on him a second time, but he really is worth it. You can't put a price on injury-free players, especially with the NFL and fantasy drafting. It's hard to find guys that are injury-free. This guy has a clean bill of health. That puts him, for me, head and shoulders above guys like McCaffrey, guys like Cook. These guys with knee and ankle injuries, this guy has none of them right now. So you're just getting a fantastic player who's going to lead you to the promised land.
Yeah, I like Najee Harris. Dan, you want to touch on Najee or?
Well, yeah, absolutely. This is a guy that obviously he's going in the second round, but he's shooting on right up the boards. And being in the middle of the draft, like I am at 7, he's a guy that I'm very considering as a 1B type of runner, because if I'm whoever's there, it's going to be either him or Nick Chubb. One of them is coming home with me, and God forbid both of them go. No idea what I'm going to do, but
well, he won't fall that far back in the second round though. It's already too late. He's established himself, and he's showing the world what he can do. When you play preseason week 1 like that and everyone's just watching because they're desperate for football content, it's too late. Everyone's seen it.
If you're in a 12-man or a 14-man, you got to use your first-round pick
Absolutely.
on him.
You may as well. Foresight.
If you're in a 10-man and you have, let's say, the 7, 8, 9, 10 pick, there you could
take a chance, but there's no guarantee that he's going to fall back to you.
But it's a lot of risk, because if you want him and you decide to wait for him in the second round and then he goes, then you're screwed. He's not on your team. That's
and the key here is why he was my must-have. There's not a lot of comparables to him going around him. Like if you miss him in the second round or something, I don't care if it's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I don't care what name you want to throw. David Montgomery looks really cool on an unrelated note, but this guy is like the cream of the top. He's the absolute elite. You're just not going to find a replacement for him if you miss out on him.
If you do want to comp, this guy is Derrick Henry with hands.
Yeah.
But, I've never been high on Alabama running backs, but this guy is special, He's not going to be Eddie Lacy, who eats himself out of the league, or Zeke Elliott, who is 1 pint of ice cream away from being cut.
Zeke Elliott, who needed baby powder for his gooch. If anyone watched Hard Knocks episode 2, a very awkward situation for all of us to have to listen to Zeke Elliott complain about a rash on his private parts.
As a diehard Steeler fan, I was really happy with that pick. Some people thought it was a bit of a reach.
It's almost embarrassing
with the poor O-line.
Yeah, we talked much earlier in the offseason about him versus Travis Etienne, and I was unsure about which guy would have a more successful season. Unfortunately, you don't always know when you're getting right out of the draft. The game is obviously over. Najee Harris is going to have a way better season than Travis Etienne. It's not even going to be kind of close.
Yeah, I love that pick. So, Dan, you got who's the one running back that you want to tell the fans that they need to draft?
Well, we're gonna stay right in the AFC North. We're gonna go a little bit cheaper. We're gonna go J.K. Dobbins. It's not completely his backfield yet, but he's still going in round 3. And this guy, even though he only had nine touchdowns last year, 1/3 of them came against Scott. He was a league winner. I was high on him last year. Took him in round 10, and then they decided, the best way to do this is take the quarterback approach, bench him for the whole year, and then let him loose, and that is not going to happen. There is no Mark Ingram, but there is the LeGarrette-type blunt player in Gus Edwards, who is going to take a little bit of touches away from him, but there's no reason that these two guys can't be on the field at the same time, especially early on in the season with all Lamar's weapons going down. You got to go with the Ohio State running back.
J.K. Dobbins. I like that pick. And last year, obviously, Mark Ingram ate into some of that workload, but Ingram is now in Houston. So I think that just opens up a lot of more work for J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, for fans that want to know a little bit of truth here, I'm a little nervous these days doing these episodes because me and Rob are actually 1 and 2 in the fantasy draft. So I feel like I'm giving away all of my strategies about what's about to come up. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I will be completely truthful. The top running back on my board right now is J.K. Dobbins, in the sense that he's the one that I'm targeting as a possibility for my. After the way I plan on operating my draft, where I go heavy on the receiver or what have you. He is a guy, as Dan just mentioned, possibly in the 3rd round, where he's still available. It's one of those things where I'm juggling that name with a few other ones right now, because you have to be realistic about who's still available to you after you've taken the specific players that you want to target. J.K. Dobbins is absolutely the top of my board in that regard, so I completely agree with Dan about him being a must-have. I think it's going to be a potential huge season for J.K. Dobbins. He got a little screwed last year with the way they handled his touches, and they kind of slowed him down for not really any great reason. We talked about how bad the offense will look for Lamar Jackson, the receivers. J.K. Dobbins will help alleviate that if they give him his touches and what he deserves early on. So hopefully it's going to be a great season for him, and I definitely endorse that pick if you end up being able to grab J.K. Dobbins on that swing or something. And this is a great teaching lesson for people that this type of shit actually does happen in fantasy drafts all the time. Last year I took Kareem Hunt somewhere around the 10th or the 11th round as an absolute steal for a running back. So sometimes these types of players can dip farther than you would think. This one won't be one of them.
I really like the J.K. Dobbins pick as well. Now, remember, this is a must-have episode. So, J.K. Dobbins. Now, where are you drafting J.K.? Are you so you're late second round, early third?
I would take him as early as the second round. I'm 7th in the draft, so
On the way back.
on the way back up. If looking at guys, I have him higher than Austin Eckler. I have him higher than Antonio Gibbons.
Gibson, yeah.
Yeah, I have him higher than David Montgomery. He's the top of that second tier.
Yeah, he's gonna go second round in our draft.
He very well could. I'm trying to get him
Yeah.
at with my third
Yeah.
pick. The thing is, if he does go there, someone must slip. This is the nature of fantasy drafting. If he does go that early, another quality name will slip.
will be
Not
available.
everyone can go in the first 20 picks. There's only 20 players for 20 picks. So
Exactly.
So don't be too discouraged if a player that you like that gets picked early. It's still very early in the draft, which means there must be quality players still available for you to choose from.
Yeah.
There are comparisons for Dobbins, at least. Even though he is a must-have, I agree he is a must-have, but there are guys that you can get to comp his projections.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
All right, I like my guy's Aaron Jones, and that's another first round pick.
Aaron Jones.
And I'm really high on Aaron Jones. Jamal Williams is gone, and that just means more workload. I mean, yes, A.J. Dillon is there.
But it's not his backfield by any means, so Aaron Jones is still
He's the man, and he's a guy that catches a lot of balls as well. So when you're talking running backs, receiving yards is a huge bonus. Yeah, Aaron Jones, Aaron Rodgers was the MVP last year, and he's back. He's there, and I think Aaron Jones has another really good year. Last year was a great year. He finished 5th overall in running back fantasy points.
He has a nose for the end zone. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, 9 touchdowns, not too bad. 2 receiving touchdowns. But so late first round pick. When it comes to late first round picks, when you're looking at guys like Zeke, Aaron Jones, even Nick Chubb. I know you guys like Nick Chubb, and Saquon Barkley. I got Aaron Jones. That's the guy I'm taking over all those guys. So if you end up with a late first round pick, Aaron Jones, me personally, is the guy that I suggest you guys take. I really like him this year, and I really hope I ended up with 2 first overall picks in 2 drafts. I'm only in 4 leagues, so hopefully if I do end up with a late pick, which I would like, just a lot less pressure, and Aaron Jones, I'm hoping that he's gonna end up on one of my teams. So that's what I got. That's what I got for Aaron Jones. Anything else, guys, or that's it?
No.
I think we've touched on everything that you need to know.
So we got Najee Harris for Scott, J.K. Dobbins for Dan, and I got Aaron Jones. As a Packer fan, Dan, what do you think about the Aaron Jones pick?
He's a lot like Devontae Adams. He's going to be there. If he's going to be there, he's going to be scoring a lot of touchdowns, but he's probably going to miss 1 or 2 games every year. Yeah. That's the way it goes. So if you're gonna take him, make sure that you have somebody that you can plug in, and make sure that you have a little bit of cachet behind him.
14 games last year, so he did miss 2. 2019 he played all 16. 2018 he played 12. So you can't predict injuries. So right now he's gonna play all 16 games. That's what we're going with. And that's the projection. And if you end up with a late first round pick, I like Aaron Jones, and that's a wrap. That's what we got.
With someone else to get him, and you'll move on with your day.
There you go. All right, so those are the 3 guys we really like, and consider drafting on draft day. Thanks for listening, guys.
Until next time.
Have a good night. Like and subscribe.